Good day everyone, I am Christian Mark Agalia, and for today, I am going to report the media literacy and its 5 essential concepts necessary for analyzing media messages. Now, before we formally start, I want you to do me a favor. So, I want you to answer me. So, here's the question. Okay? So, in your everyday life, how much time did you spend consuming media? Okay, is it 2 hours, 4 hours, 7 hours? So in our generation, we spend so much time consuming media. So we are surfing Facebook, watching videos on YouTube, reading mangas, reading Wattpad, and so on and so forth. Now, since half of our lives we spend our time on social medias or those medias, we need to understand its influence. Why? Because it may affect us. It may affect our mental health, our emotional aspect, and also our physical aspect. So it would really affect us as a person. Okay? Now, when I say media, I am talking about a couple of things. Okay? So, and did you know that media is the plural form of medium? At pag sinabi kong medium, talks about different methods that is something communicated. So basically, medium, it is a vehicle of message. Okay, so here are some examples of mediums. We have books, we have newspaper, we have music videos, we have podcasts, tweets, and also we have television, and the other one we have radio, and so on and so forth. Now, it makes sense that half of our lives we really are consuming media in our daily lives. Okay? Like in the morning, some of the people they are reading newspaper. So by that moment, you are already consuming media. Or just like in our generation, we are surfing Facebook early in the morning. Okay? And minsan nga napapagalitan na tayo ng ating mga magulang dahil mas inuna pa natin yung pagsusurf sa mga social media instead of doing houseworks, right? Now, when we are talking about media literacy, it is the ability to identify different types of media, and also it is the ability to understand the messages that they are communicating. Okay? Now, let's talk about the history of media literacy. According to Boyd of 2014, media literacy education began in the United States and United Kingdom on a direct result of war propaganda in the 1930s and the rise of advertising in the 1960s. In both cases, media was being used to manipulate the perspective and subsequent actions of those exposed to it, thereby giving rise to the need to educate people on how to detect the biases, falsehoods, and half-truths depicted in print, radio, and television. Okay, even before media literacy education has been a great help to people, because when we say propaganda, it is something that the committee or from the higher ups they spread information to public. So those information will affect the people, their emotions, their behavior, and also their opinions. So basically, during that time, I believe that they didn't influence the consumers because because of the media literacy education. So they are able to detect those falsehoods, those biases came from the information. Okay, so again, media literacy, it is the ability to identify different types of media, and it is the ability to understand the messages that they are communicating, just like from the history of the media literacy education. They didn't influence the consumers because of the media literacy education that helps us detect biases, falsehoods, and other, and so on and so forth. So that's it for the media literacy. Now let's proceed to the 5 essential concepts necessary for analyzing the messages. Now, for the first one, we have media messages are constructed. So when we say media messages are constructed, so it talks about the author or who created those certain information. So I have here an example. Now take a look of this picture. As you can see, it is black and white. Okay, now some of you might think that this picture is not good, right? Because of the color. But did you know that since I am the constructor, I am the one who created this picture, I choose what you see and I choose what you don't see. Okay, so basically this first concept of analyzing media messages, the author has the power to manipulate his or her creation. So as for those viewers or readers, you have the power to be critics, okay? But you can never have the power to change that certain information. I have another example. So did you know this artist? Okay, this is Taylor Swift, and the other one, okay, this is Justin Bieber. Okay, so from those artists, okay, iba sa atin dito is talagang mas pinipili or tawag niyan, we are listening to Taylor Swift. Why? Because maybe in today's generation, si Taylor Swift talaga yung nangunguna, tama? So yung mga Swifties dyan. Okay, now when we take a look sa history ni Justin Bieber, meron siyang mga issues about his lives, like taking drugs, taking marijuana, and other things. If we really analyze or understand the situation, mas pipiliin talaga natin na makinig sa mga music ni Taylor Swift because she is well respected. He has no history of taking those drugs, or he has no history of bad habits, right? Now, since we are media literate, we will choose talaga yung better one. So we will choose Taylor Swift. Now, for the second one, we have media messages are produced within economic, political, historical, social, and aesthetic context. Okay? So, particular dito sa economic, we have market competition. Okay? So, it is very crucial for us individual, right? Because just like in companies, they are using what we call advertisement to promote their products and also to catch our attention, the consumer's attention. And since we are literate enough to understand their products, we are being mindful. So we need to analyze what is the best product for us. Okay? Yung sa mga iba naman, just like sa mga mayayaman, di ba? The quality of that product, if the quality of the product is high, that means the price is also high. Tama? But how about for us people na just like we are isang kahit isang tuka, or for those people, we have a place, tama? We are being practical sa what we call that, ukay-ukay, tama? And the price is low but the quality is high. Now that's for the economic. Now let's proceed to the political. In political, some of them they are what you call that, they are yung gumagawa sila ng mga survey ba kung saan ka in favor. It's like yung election, if you are in favor of BBM, you need to click this one, or they are also using Facebook apps. It's like react heart if you choose Duterte or as a vice president, and also react care if you choose BBM. Now, as a normal individual, you need to understand, you need to analyze how they works, okay? Kung sino yung mas better, syempre yun yung pipiliin natin. And let's proceed to the historical. There are also a survey that talks about kung sino daw yung dapat na naging bayani. Si Andres Bonifacio ba daw or si Rizal. So I believe that they are both contributed a lot to our nation, tama? But si Rizal yung pinili na wala tayong magagawa, diba? But each of us, we have different opinions, and those opinions that's what made us a human, tama? So as a media literate, should choose what's the best. The third one, we have the interpretative meaning making processes involved in message reception consists of an interaction between the reader, the text, and culture. Why? Because these three should work. These three elements, they build like a semiotic triangle. Because when we read information, we should consider facts, the beliefs of that certain author, the experience, the values, and also the religion or the background of that person. Now, when we read the information, it would really affect us. So we should be a good interpreter. Okay, as a good interpreter, we should really look for facts. We should look for relevant ideas that should help us and not destroy us, because those information will change us for better or for worse. Now, because of the media literacy education, we have the power, or we are able to understand, we have the power to analyze those certain information that would really help us people. That's for the third section. Fourth one, we have media has unique languages, characteristics which typify various forms, genres, and symbols, systems of communication. Okay. Now, when we talk about languages, so it is a way or a method of conveying a message. For instance, in films, they use deep camera angles, right? They use sound effects and also visual effects. So those are for the movies and films. And the other one, we have television. So they use dramas, they use episodic storytelling, and also what we call the advertisement or the commercial break. So that's what they are using for communication. And for the third one, we have for those the aspect of written. So they used imagery or they used hidden meanings to convey the information from their piece. So that's it. All of those will help the readers or the viewers understand the media messages, those languages or the method that the different medias used. Now for the last one, we have media representations play a role in people's understanding of social reality. Yes, it is, or it can really shape our perspective. Why? Because for instance, napanood nyo na ba yung about sa issue ng Cocomelon? So they release a video about a parent and a child. So there are two parents, one boy and another boy, or they are like couple. So naalagaan nila ang isang lalaking bata. Now, do you think that it would really just educate people in society? Hindi, di ba? Kasi what if it will not educate us, or it will not really just educate us, but it would also create ones? I'm not saying that I am against LGBTQ, but there are so much people reacted on that particular video because they are being what we call that, sila ay nag-worry because if their son or their daughter saw that video, what if their behavior will change because of that particular video? Tama? So that would really affect the character of a person or the perspective of the person. So as a media literate, we should react, we should give a opinion to that certain video, and that's it. And also according to the sources, they deleted that video because they believe, many believe that that video or that particular video would not really satisfy the taste of the people. So that's for the example of the fifth one. So that's it for my report. Thank you for listening. So again, I am Christian Martinorio of BSL3 Evening Session.
Hi everyone, I am Noreen Banzil from BSL Department 3rd year evening session. So my topic is what media literacy is not. Given the broad and somewhat nebulous nature of media literacy, its implied definition can be gleaned by understanding what media literacy is not. The following is a list of actions that often mistaken for being representative of media literacy. The first one is criticizing the media is not in and of itself.
Criticizing the media or telling something against media is not media literacy. It will not also make a person literate about this matter. The media literacy does not require us to always have something to say or to talk about. It is about that we understand and how we use media. It is not said that we can say something against media because media literacy is also about evaluating the media that we use.
Merely producing media is not Media literacy, although part of being media literate, is the ability to produce media. Sitting with media like videos, presentations, etc. does not equal media literacy.
Not because you can use video presentation or you can produce written articles, you immediately considered as media literate. A teacher is media literate if she know how to teach media or what media all about to her student. If she can share to her student how media works and make her students knowledgeable in that matter.
Viewing media and analyzing it from a single perspective is not a media literacy. Media literacy does not simply mean knowing what and what not to watch.
So good afternoon everyone. So my name is John Mark Mansueto, and the topic that assigned to me is digital literacy and its skills and competencies. So now, what is digital literacy? So digital literacy as defined as the ability to locate, evaluate, create, and communicate information on a various digital platforms. So digital literacy itself also requires an individual to be able to manipulate the product of the technology, both hardware and software. So the question is digital literacy just the same with media literacy? So in some, yes, because media literacy is the ability to be able to understand the information that is being disseminated, in which just the same with digital literacy. Media literacy itself is also about checking and evaluating the information, in which the same goes with digital literacy. So the difference now is first, in media literacy, it's just part of digital literacy. Is it because once the information is being shared to the internet, it becomes digital or cyber. So media can also be found in radio, newscasting, and television. Second, the focus of media literacy and the content of information to be shared or accepted. While in digital literacy itself, the focus includes how to use both hardware and software in accessing the content of information. So, Shapiro and Hughes on 1996, in a curriculum they envisioned to promote computer literacy, should sound very familiar to readers today. So, digital literacy includes the following. First is the tool literacy. Tool literacy means competence in using hardware and software. So, this ability not just to recognize but to use both hardware and software. Pag sinasabi natin hardware and software, pag hardware, when you are using your like gadgets, your laptops, and Wi-Fi to access the information. When it comes to software naman, is the app just like Word, Microsoft Word, WPS, Excel. Those are the following tools that you are using to access the information. Second is resource literacy. Resource literacy, understanding forms and access to information resources. So this resource literacy is the ability to access the information, yes, ability to how information can be gathered and locate, and also how information can be found. So those are our resource literacy. When it talks about the social structural literacy naman, it is the understanding of production and significance of information. Let's say the ability to understand the significance of information, making sure the accuracy of information that is particular the audience, which means audience are being considered and producing a particular content itself. Research literacy, using IT tools for research and scholarship. So this research literacy is the ability to use the information, technology, and research library. Next is the publishing literacy. The publishing literacy is the ability to communicate and publish information. So
This publishing literacy is the ability itself of spreading and sharing information. Next is emerging technologies literacy. So this emerging technologies literacy, understanding of new developments in IT. Not just about the understanding of the skills of learning to present technology, but also to understand the understanding the significance of learning new things or new technology, which we need to our better future. Critical literacy. So critical literacy is the ability to evaluate the benefits of new technologies. So this critical literacy is not just the same with critical thinking, because critical thinking is applying the higher order thinking skills, while in the critical literacy, the focus of critical literacy is to evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of new technologies being implemented on a particular organization. So Lanham 1995, digital literacy, a digital literate person as being skilled and deciphering and understanding the meanings of images, sounds, and the subtle uses of words, so that he or she could match the medium of communication to the kind of information being presented and perform it intended to the audience is. So his main points is to his main concern is the origin of a particular message or the particular information. So this is also means that in digital literacy, you are also includes evaluating and assessing the credibility of how reliable is the information. 2 years later, Paul Gilster in 1997 formally defined digital literacy as the ability to understand and use information in multiple formats from a wide range of sources when it is presented via computers, explaining that do not all must a person acquire the skills and finding new things. She or he must also acquire the ability to use these things in life. So Paul, so the meaning of this this is not just all about the understanding of the information, the content, and accessing or evaluating how reliable information is, but also once you are able to understand it, then you should also have the skill to apply it into your life. Bowden 2008, the skills and competencies comprising digital literacy from contemporary scholars on the matter into 4 groups. First is the underpinnings. Underpinnings is the ability on how to use the computer and accessing and organizing information. It is all about also utilizing or manipulating the use of computer. Second is we have the background knowledge. The background knowledge is all about how information can be accessed, how to save it, and how to spread it. So we can relate it into non-digital world. Let's say for example, you are looking a subject on a library. In the digital world, you are browsing on the internet. So what is the most reliable information? So the difference now, in the library, all information are creatable and reliable. But the internet, you should be careful in choosing the information to be saved, kasi di natin alam yung kung information ba yun ay dapat bang i-save, di ba siya fake news, yun. So ikaw ang magdidesisyon kung anong information yung isi-save mo. Unlike sa library, mayroon ng mga taong sumulat noon, ginawa na yun at napag-isip-isipan nila na tama talaga. Yun yung the difference nila sa digital world into non-digital world itself. So now, let's proceed to the central competencies. This includes the following: reading and understanding digital and non-digital formats, creating and communicating digital information, evaluation of information, knowledge assembly on how the information organized, and information literacy and media literacy. Number 4, attitudes and perspectives. Bowden 2008 suggests that it is these attitudes and perspective that link digital literacy today with traditional literacy, saying it is not enough to have skills and competencies. They must be grounded in some moral framework. Specifically, we have first is the independent learning. The independent learning is the initiative and ability to learn whatever is needed for a person's specific situation. And second, we have moral and social literacy. Moral and social literacy, an understanding of correct, acceptable, and sensitive behavior in digital environment. So, let's discuss first the independent learning. So the independent learning is very evident today, especially in those teachers who are really doing their best, to allot into doing their best just to deliver or just to present clearly the lesson to the students. So in the moral and social literacy naman, it is this is now the adjustment of being sensitive with the needs of each one. But of course, not all the teachers are not that good in using or utilizing different platforms.
Good day everyone. By the way, I am Eduardo Roflo. So for now, I will going to discuss about information literacy within digital literacy and socio-emotional literacy within digital literacy. So, when we say information literacy is ability to find, evaluate, organize, and use to communicate information, while digital literacy is having the ability to learn in the society where communicate and access the information through technology like about platforms, social media, and mobile device. Information literacy within digital literacy. Given the ease with which digital media, as opposed to traditional print media, can be edited and manipulated, the ability to approach it with a healthy amount of skepticism has become a survival skill for media consumers. So, when we say skepticism, is attitude or adapt or disposition to incredulity either in a general or particular objects. So, Ancient Alkali 2004 draws attention to information literacy as a critical component of digital literacy, as the cognitive skills that consumers use to evaluate information in an educated and effective manner. In effect, information literacy acts as a filter by which consumers evaluate the veracity of information being presented to them via digital media and thereupon sort the erroneous, irrelevant, and biased from what is demonstrably factual. So, Ancient Alkali use media literacy and information literacy to check the product to see if the information presented to them is true. So people search the information of the product through digital media. So malalaman nila dito kung yung product na in-offer nila ay totoo or hindi. So pwede silang gumagamit ng technology upang malaman nila ang buong informasyon na yon. And now, we will talk about socio-emotional literacy within digital literacy. Alongside information literacy, Ancient Alkali 2004 highlights a kind of socio-emotional literacy needed to navigate the internet, raising questions such as, how do I know if another user in a chat room is who he says he is? Or how do I know if a call for blood donation on the internet is real or a hoax? So, nowadays, ay tayo mga tao ay nag-i-enjoy tayo sa paggamit ng internet and technology, but some use it such as a material to fool others. Kaya minsan hindi natin maiwasang mapatanong sa ating sarili like, siya kaya itong kausap ko? Is this legit? If I donate via online, mapupunta kayo sa kanila yun? Such question should make us realize that there is no hard or fast rules for determining the answers. So, and like Ashat Alkali said, there is a understand that while the internet is a global village of sorts, it is also a global jungle of human communication, embracing everything from truth to falsehood, honesty and deceit, and ultimately God and evil. So, katulad ng palaging sinasabi sa atin na hindi lahat nakikita natin sa social media at internet ay totoo, because some are false and deceitful. So, that's why socio-emotional literacy required us to be critical, analytical, and mature.
Good day everyone, my name is Kristen Grace Dusan from BSED Evening Session. What are the challenges of digital literacy? Here are some of challenges associated with digital literacy. First is lack of access to and knowledge of technology. One of the most challenging aspects of digital literacy is the requirement for a certain level of technical expertise and understanding. Not everyone has access to cutting edge of technology and tools has been properly trained to use them, which can result in digital divide and in which certain people lack in digital skills and knowledge. So this we call this one. This can have severe consequences for access to school, employment, and social and civic participation. Two is trouble and finding the right resource. Okay, so another barrier to digital literacy is the lack of capability to find the right resource from the billions that are available online. With so much information or at your fingertips, it can be difficult to identify which resources are genuine and trustworthy. Critical thinking and analytical skills are needed to evaluate the quality of material found online and discern between facts and opinions, biases, disinformations, and propaganda. So this necessitates a critical approach with experience, awareness, and knowledge. So the third one is lack of guidance. So concern about privacy and security are amplified when we talk about digital literacy. So many people are unaware of the potential dangers of internet and lack supervision from digital expert. So alam naman natin lahat, no, kapag tayo ay gumagawa ng research paper or anything na gamit ang technology, hindi na natin kailangan na maghanap ng ibang resources as long as may nakita tayo na tawag na to tumpak doon sa hinahanap natin, yun agad yung kinukuha natin, no? So without knowing na may mali pala doon, no? So with the lack of information about digital literacy, trainers and practitioners is a topic that needs greater attention than anything. Fourth one is the lack of awareness and interest in digital technology. So another challenge is the lack of awareness and interest in digital technology among certain section of population, particularly older adults and women. So ayun. So according to my research, nearly half the world's population is still not online. while Asia has the highest number of people without access. Africa tops the world is in the percentage of the people without connection at 88%. So, furthermore, in digital connected countries, male internet users outnumber their female counterparts in every region of the world. So, this digital divide does not just this digital divide does not justify those who have access to the internet and those who do not. So the gap also encompasses several others discrepancies, including the quality of digital information or digital infrastructure in rural communities, the spread of connectivity in the remote areas, and the training and skills required to navigate such as technology. Last one is lack of emphasis on digital literacy in education. So there is a lack of emphasis on making individuals digitally literate. So despite the growing importance of digital skills in the job market, many schools and colleges worldwide do not offer adequate training in digital literacy. So this results in a lack of digital skills among young people, which can hinder their employment prospect in the future.
Good day everyone, I am Jelmesi Tambun and I am going to report about digital natives. The term digital native is coined by Mark Prinsky in 2021. Digital natives refers the generation of people who grew up in the era of information technology, including computers and internet. Digital natives are comfortable with technology and computers at an early age and consider technology to be integral and necessary part of their lives. Digital natives are generally born after 1980s and they are comfortable in the age because they grew up using technology. Groupings of digital natives. There are three groups of digital natives: the avoiders, the minimalists, the enthusiastic participants. Avoiders. They were born in the digital world, but some people do not feel a likeness for digital technologies and Facebook. They have cell phones but do not use email and social account. So, ito yung mga individual na merong smartphone but not intended for sokmed o hindi mahilig gumamit ng social media. Their smartphones are only intended in contacts. So, second, the minimalist. They use technology minimally, and when they perceive it necessary, they search information on Google if they have to purchase online, if they cannot buy something at local store. So, ito yung mga individual na ginagamit ang teknolohiya kapag nararamdaman nilang kinakailangan nila ito. Sa halimbawa, umuwi ka galing sa trabaho at wala ka nang ganang magluto dahil pagod ka. Hindi mo na kailangan lumabas pa upang bumili ng pagkain dahil sa teknolohiya pwede ka na umorder using smartphones para magpa-deliver sa iyong location na hindi nahahasal. Lastly, the enthusiastic participants. Most of the digital are enthusiastic participants. They enjoy technology and gadgets, so they use Facebook all day long and have other social media accounts watching YouTube and movies as much as possible. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good day. I am Cristina Danza Mirador from BSA 3rd year evening session. Today, I am going to report the 5 concepts and principles of media literacy that are at most important. So, number 1, teach media and digital literacy integrally. So, when we say integrally, it means it should make it part of how we teach to our students, or dapat itong maging bahagi sa ating pagtuturo. Any attempt to teach this principle must first realize that they cannot be separated from the context meaning. They cannot be taught separately from other topics, so they are all connected. That's why it should always be integrated. Critical thinking requires something other than itself to think critically about and thus cannot develop a vacuum. Similarly, developing a moral framework within students cannot be taught via merely talking about it. This moral framework develops by practicing it, that is, basing our decision on it. In the context of everything else we do in our day-to-day lives, we therefore agree with Koltai 2011 that the teaching of the fundamental principles of this and other literacy should be done integratively with other subjects in school. However, difficult process might be in words. Teach them in mathematics, sciences, language, arts, social studies, and so on. Make them part of the school curriculum and in the everyday life of the student, and anything else will be as misguided as merely telling a plant to grow and expecting it to do so by the power of your words. This simply implies the principle actions speak louder than words. So we should practice teaching media and digital literacy to our students because our society is revolving to this technological advancement the world has. The second one is master your subject matter. Whatever it is you teach, you must not only possess a true understanding of your subject matter, you must also understand why you are teaching it and why it is important to learn. As educators, we must not shy away from a student genuinely asking us to explain why something we are teaching is important. After all, teaching is in itself a kind of media. The students are obliged to consume. It is only fair they know why. So, for us to master our craft, we should be dedicated in doing so. We should be enthusiastic in front of our students because we are teaching them and they are expecting learning from us. The third is think multidisciplinary. How can educators integrate media and digital literacy in a subject as abstract as mathematics? For example, the answer lies in stepping out of the pure mathematics mindset and embracing communication as being just as important to math as computation. Once communication is accepted as important, this opens up new venues where the new literacies can be exercised. For example, students create a web page detailing what system of linear equations are, why they are important, and the techniques for solving them. Alternatively, they can create poster and infographics that explain the same thing. The exact same strategies can be applied to nearly any subject and any topic. It is just a matter of believing as educators that how we communicate is as important as we communicate. So, as the passage says, it is a matter of believing. So, as teacher, we should all believe in the capabilities of our students' head. They can be even good at using media than us. That is why we shouldn't underestimate them. With proper guidance and discipline, those students will have a good future ahead of them. Miss Amoran will continue to report the remaining topics. That's all, thank you.
So the fourth concept of media literacy is to explore motivation, not just messages. So this one answered the question, why or what or who? So students should learn how media messages are built not just through scripts but production choices like framing and music, and how these choices influence our interpretation and actions. So for example, student or us encounter or read a media message or text. So as students, dapat hindi lang tayo mag-focus sa media message lang mismo. We should learn to ask questions like, Why was the message created? Who are intended audience? Who created the message? And etc. Because it will help our critical thinking skills. Kasi diba, the more we ask, the more we understand and the more knowledge we gain. So the objective here is not so much to find the correct answers, but rather to develop the habit of asking these questions. And the last concept of media literacy is the leverage skills that the students already have. It is always surprising how much a person can do when they are personally and effectively motivated to do so. Kasi di ba pag gusto mo yung ginagawa mo or love mo yung ginagawa mo, ay mas mamamotivate ka na gawin talaga yung bagay na yon. So as an educator, para mas ma-build pa ang skills or knowledge ng students about media, you should use a variety of media form on diverse topics or integrate media exposure into your daily classroom instruction. Educator can catch the attention of students by doing those things kasi nga they have already prior knowledge about the topic. Harnessing this natural desire to explore whatever interests them will go on a long way in improving media and digital literacy education in your classroom. So let's begin the wrap-up. So what is media literacy? Media literacy is the ability to identify different types of media. So what are the different types of media? Diba radio, television, internet, print media, and etc. And understand the messages conveyed through those various forms of media and who is the intended audience. Like for example, sa radio or television, diba usually may advertisement talaga yan. So, who are intended audience? Diba yun yung mga taong interested sa product or service nila? Like if ang advertisers, nagbebenta sila ng organic baby food. So, sino yung mga intended audience nila? Diba yun yung mga parents na mga health conscious? And also, what is the motivation behind the message? So the next one is the digital or cyber literacy. So digital or cyber literacy is a subset of media literacy. So meaning, larger siya than the media literacy. Though media literacy and digital literacy are similar in that they both teach individuals how to interact in media. However, may pagkakaiba pa rin sila kasi 'di ba ang media literacy is nakatingin siya sa media as a whole and paano siya nakaka-influence sa perception natin sa reality. While digital literacy is nakafocus in understanding how digital media tools such as social media platforms, website, and apps interact with society at large. Digital literacy gives readers another key skill they need to succeed in today's online world by emphasizing 21st century skills concerning how to consume online news articles. So the next one is the information literacy. Information literacy is a subset of media literacy. The ability to locate, access, and evaluate information from a variety of media sources. And of utmost importance to both literacies, media and digital, is the ability to analyze and think critically about what is being communicated. This means making value judgments about the messages and goes beyond simply comprehending the what is being said.